Hey everybody, it's Royce here, and I want to welcome you all to my Royce in the House YouTube channel. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Beatles' magnificent song, Eleanor Rigby. Please check the channel out. This is going to be one of our shorter videos. We've got videos that go anywhere from 6 minutes up to 3 hours. We cover classic rock and all the backstories, all right? So here we go. Let's just get right into it. The Beatles' Eleanor Rigby is a haunting, sad, and disturbing masterpiece by Paul McCartney. You know, John Lennon certainly wrote some deeply emotional songs. However, it's doubtful he wrote anything as melancholy and tragic as Paul McCartney's depressing take on loneliness in the song Eleanor Rigby. The Beatles released the track on a single alongside the upbeat Yellow Submarine, and the two became one of the strangest song combinations to reach #1 in British music history. Okay. Eleanor Rigby was a UK #1 in 1966 and won a Grammy for Paul McCartney's vocal performance. It was also a significant departure from the Beatles' earlier work, musically, lyrically, and stylistically. Okay, none of the Beatles played a single note. I don't know how many people know this, but none of the Beatles played a single note on Eleanor Rigby. Instead, we have a wonderful string section arranged by the legendary George Martin. This was one of those times, yesterday being the most notable other one, when George Martin's previous experience as a producer of classical music records for EMI really came in handy. Eleanor Rigby reached number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100 and remained on the chart for 8 weeks. It also topped single charts in Australia, Belgium, Canada, and New Zealand. Yellow Submarine as a single actually reached number 2 on the singles charts. Okay, so Eleanor Rigby was an amazing musical achievement at the time, though with its detailed description of specific people and emotional powerhouse alongside some unearthly strings, as I previously mentioned, provided by Martin, all combined in a 2-minute pop recording. The main character's name, Eleanor Rigby, was taken from a tombstone in the graveyard at St. Peter's Parish Church in Woolton, the place where John Lennon and Paul McCartney first met as teenagers at that graveyard. Okay. Even more intriguing, though, is the real identity of Father McKenzie, the song's solitary priest who writes sermons no one will hear. We are given images of him darning his socks in the night when there's nobody there and wiping the dirt from his hands as he leaves Rigby's otherwise unattended funeral in the churchyard. It's the details of these images that makes this so heart-wrenching. McCartney executes the story trick of showing without telling to perfection. Okay, we grasp the true measure of each character's lonely isolation from the world, from small physical and circumstantial details, such as the place where Rigby's wedding has been, or Mackenzie's indifference to working through the night. This, to me, I find this an absolutely amazing story. The Beatles' portrait of this priestly loner is so distinctive that we're inclined to believe that it must be based on a real person. And in a sense, he is. Okay, so who inspired McCartney? Well, Eleanor Rigby herself was simply a name from history that McCartney happened to come across on a gravestone. Father McKenzie, now, on the other hand, was someone he personally was well acquainted with. However, his real name had to be altered, and he wasn't a church cleric either. Okay. All right. So as the story goes on, who was Father McKenzie then from the Beatles song Eleanor Rigby? In fact, Father McKenzie was originally called Father McCartney in early drafts of the song's lyrics and was based on Paul McCartney's own father, Jim McCartney. Okay, the family were practicing Catholics of Irish descent, so it wasn't so much of a stretch for the songwriter to go from imagining his actual father, Jim McCartney, to a more metaphorical father figure of a church priest, like the one we have encountered, like the one he had encountered, as a child in church itself. Okay, so Paul felt embarrassed leaving his own family name on the song. He changed McCartney to the similar sounding Irish McKenzie to distance the lyrics from his personal life. Other than providing nominal inspiration for the character, apart from his Catholic heritage, Jim McCartney had nothing to do with the priest and Eleanor Rigby. Far from being a loner, he, by all accounts, Jim McCartney, Paul's father, by all accounts, was a gregarious and sociable man who regularly entertained guests at the McCartney's family home. While their names and occupations may have had some basis in reality, the characters Eleanor Rigby and Father McKenzie were ultimately inventions of Paul McCartney's imagination. His deeply empathetic portrayal of his characters puts to rest any claim that he was an emotional and philosophical lightweight next to his songwriting partner, Lennon. Not only could McCartney think and feel just as deeply on occasions, he could express his thoughts and feelings through his compelling stories. So this is basically my little short story on the masterpiece Eleanor Rigby. Like I said, please check out the channel. The channel's been growing. If you watch this video, please hit the like or thumbs up button. It lets the algorithm know people are watching the show and encourages the algorithm to place our show in front of people searching for content to watch. So it's a big help if you hit that thumbs up button. Also, consider subscribing to the channel. We're having a lot of fun. Every Sunday evening at 6:30, we have a 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. We have a live chat, and it's a whole lot of fun. We really have great people showing up in the chat who participate and really challenge us to be our best. There's always 2, 3, sometimes 4 co-hosts on the channel with me. We have a great time, so please consider subscribing, but check us out. I think you'll like what you see. Just go to the Royce in the House YouTube channel and watch some of the videos, some of the music videos. And so thank you very much for watching this. I really appreciate it. And that's what's happening in Royce's world today. Thank you.